Alan Carter stood at the viewing window of Galactic Council Station Harmony. The station hung in space like a giant metal flower. Its many arms reached out from a central hub where the council met. Alan was tired. For 3 years, he had worked as Earth's main diplomat to the Galactic Consortium. The consortium included more than 30 alien species who traveled between stars. Humans had only learned about the consortium 5 years ago. A scout ship had visited Earth and made first contact. At first, people on Earth were excited. They thought they would join a peaceful group of space travelers and learn new technology, but things did not turn out that way. Earth had been labeled a death world by the consortium. This meant that most aliens thought Earth was too dangerous to live on. Earth had stronger gravity than most planets with intelligent life. It had weather that changed quickly. It had many dangerous animals. It had poison in its air that most aliens could not breathe. And it had oceans that covered most of its surface. The aliens who ran the consortium had evolved on safer, calmer worlds. They were smaller and weaker than humans. Their bodies broke easily. They got sick from Earth's bacteria and viruses. They did not understand how humans could live on such a harsh planet. For the past few years, alien scientists had been studying humans. Sometimes they took people from Earth for tests. They were amazed by how strong humans were, how quickly they healed, and how they could eat almost anything. They were shocked that humans could live through injuries that would kill most aliens. Some alien leaders thought humans were too dangerous. They wanted to keep humans trapped on Earth. Others thought humans might be useful fighters against the Void Collective, a mysterious enemy that lived at the edge of the galaxy. Alan looked out at the stars and sighed. Today was supposed to be a good day. The council was voting on whether to give Earth full membership in the consortium. Alan had worked hard for this. If Earth joined, humans would get new technology. They would be able to travel to other stars. They would have protection from the consortium's fleet of warships. Alan's comm device buzzed. He looked at the screen and saw a message from Susan Miller, who led Earth's Defense Force. The message was marked urgent. Alan opened it and felt his heart stop. Massive attack on Earth. Multiple cities hit. Millions dead. Unknown ships using advanced weapons. Need immediate help. Sending video feed. The screen changed to show burning cities. Huge black ships hung in the sky above New York, Beijing, and London. They fired red beams that cut through buildings like they were made of paper. People ran in panic through streets filled with smoke and rubble. Alan's hands shook as he ran from the window to the council chamber. He burst through the doors without waiting to be announced. The council was in session. Hundreds of aliens from different species sat in a huge round room. They looked like a zoo collection. Some had scales, some had fur, some had 6 arms or 3 eyes or skin that changed color. Chancellor Zixtorv, the head of the council, glared at Alan with all 4 of his yellow eyes. Zixtorv was from a species called the Vox. They looked like tall, thin cats that walked on 2 legs. "What is the meaning of this interruption?" Zixtorv asked in a cold voice. "Earth is under attack," Alan shouted. He connected his comm device to the main screen in the chamber. The images of destruction appeared for all to see. Gasps and murmurs filled the room. "These are Void Collective ships," said a blue-skinned alien with a long neck. "They have the same design as the ones that attacked the Polaris system last year." "How did they get past our early warning systems?" asked another council member. "The Sol system is supposed to be protected." Zixtorv stood up. "This changes everything. I call for an emergency vote. The consortium must intervene to protect Earth from the Void Collective." The vote was quick. All members agreed. Within hours, a massive fleet of consortium warships jumped to Earth. They engaged the black ships in orbit. After a fierce battle, the attackers retreated, but the damage was done. 7 major cities on Earth lay in ruins. The death toll would reach over 12 million. It was the worst disaster in human history. 2 days later, Alan met with the High Council in a private chamber. Zixtorv and 12 other senior council members sat across from him. "We have decided to offer Earth protection," Zixtorv said. "We will station defensive fleets in your system. We will build shields around your major cities. We will share some of our defensive technology with you." Alan should have felt relieved, but something in Zixtorv's tone made him uneasy. "What's the catch?" he asked. "In return, Earth must accept certain restrictions," Zixtorv said. "For your own safety, of course. No human ships will be allowed to leave your solar system without consortium approval. All human weapons development will be supervised by consortium officers, and we will establish bases on Earth to coordinate the defense effort." Alan stared at the alien in shock. "That's not protection. That's occupation." "Call it what you will," Zixtorv said with a wave of his narrow hand. "The decision has been made. The fleet is already moving into position around your planet. Troops will begin landing tomorrow." "I need to discuss this with Earth's leaders," Alan said. "There is nothing to discuss," Zixtorv replied. "This is not a negotiation. The attack has proven what many of us have feared all along. Deathworlders, like humans, are too valuable to leave unprotected and too dangerous to give free rein in the galaxy. You will be safe under our care. That should be enough for your people." Alan left the meeting with anger burning in his chest. As he walked back to his quarters, he passed two Vox officials speaking quietly. They didn't notice him. "The purifier worked perfectly," one said. "The humans think it was the Void Collective. They'll never know it was our ships." "Zixtorv's plan was brilliant," the other replied. "Now we can contain the Deathworlders legally, and they'll thank us for it." Alan froze. He kept walking when they looked his way, pretending he hadn't heard. But inside he was raging. The attack hadn't been the Void Collective. It had been staged by elements within the consortium to justify taking control of Earth. Back in his room, Alan sent a coded message to Susan Miller on Earth. He kept it simple. "The help coming is not what it seems. Prepare for resistance. They fear us for a reason." The occupation of Earth had begun, but the aliens would soon learn why. Deathworlders were so feared throughout the galaxy. 6 months had passed since the alien ships first appeared in Earth's skies. Life had changed for everyone. The consortium troops were everywhere now. They built bases in every country. They controlled who could travel and what people could say. They took over factories and research labs. They said it was all to protect humans from the Void Collective, but most people knew it was really about control. Eddie Green wiped sweat from his forehead as he fixed a broken cooling unit. The air in the North American Command Center was too warm for the aliens. They needed it cool and dry. Eddie used to design spacecraft engines before the occupation. Now he fixed air conditioners and cleaning robots for the aliens. "Hey, Eddie," said Frank, another human worker. "The boss wants you in Section 4, something about the communication array." Eddie nodded and packed up his tools. He walked through the long hallways of the base. Aliens moved past him without looking at him. To them, he was just another servant. Just another dumb human who was lucky to be protected by the mighty consortium. Section 4 contained the main communication equipment. The aliens used it to talk to their ships in orbit and to other bases around the world. Eddie had been fixing things there for months. The aliens trusted him because he seemed simple and happy to help. They didn't know that Eddie was memorizing everything he saw. They didn't know he had a perfect memory and could redraw any machine after seeing it once. "The signal amplifier is malfunctioning," said the alien supervisor. He was from a species called the Trill. They looked like tall, thin humans with light blue skin and no hair. "Fix it quickly. We have important messages to send." "Yes, sir," Eddie said with a bow. He had learned to act humble and stupid around the aliens. It made them let down their guard. As he worked on the amplifier, Eddie placed a tiny device inside. The device would copy all messages that passed through the system. Later, the data would be sent to a hidden receiver in Eddie's apartment. That night, Eddie took the train home to his small apartment in what used to be Chicago. The city had changed. Alien buildings now stood among human ones. Alien ships flew overhead. Armed guards checked everyone's ID at checkpoints. When Eddie got home, he closed all his blinds and turned on music. Then he went to his closet and moved aside some clothes. Behind them was a hidden panel in the wall. Inside the panel was a computer not connected to any network. Eddie used it to decode the copied messages. Most of the messages were boring. Duty, reports, supply requests. But one caught his attention. It was from Chancellor Zixtorv to all base commanders. Increase security on all human scientists and engineers. Phase 2 of Operation Containment begins next month. All human space technology must be fully dismantled by then. Any humans with dangerous knowledge should be relocated to the special facilities. Eddie saved the message and put everything away. Then he got ready to go out again. He told his neighbors he was going to the bar, but he really went to meet Lisa Rodriguez. Lisa had been a Special Forces soldier before the occupation. Now she led the largest human resistance group. They met in the basement of an old church. 20 people were there, sitting on folding chairs. Eddie has new information, Lisa said to the group. She was short but strong, with short black hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. Eddie connected his data device to a screen and showed them the message from Zixtorv. They're going to round up anyone who knows how to build spaceships or weapons, he said. They want to make sure we can never fight back. We need to warn the people on their list, said Judy, a former police officer. And we need to step up our plan, Lisa said. Eddie, how's the weapon coming? Eddie had been working on a special Bayon gun that could penetrate alien armor. He had designed it based on what he learned from fixing alien tech. It works, he said. I tested it yesterday. It can cut through Trill armor with one shot. I can build more if we get the parts. Good, Lisa said. Because we got a message from Alan Carter. Everyone got quiet. Alan Carter was still on the space station, pretending to work with the aliens. But he secretly sent information to the resistance. Carter says the attack on Earth was fake, Lisa told them. It wasn't the Void Collective, it was the consortium. They attacked us so they could pretend to save us. Angry voices filled the room. People cursed and pounded their fists on tables. There's more, Lisa said. Carter found out why they're so afraid of us. It's not just that we're strong. It's not just that we can take more damage than they can. It's because of a prophecy. A prophecy? Eddie asked. Like a prediction? Yes. Their oldest records talk about warriors born of harsh worlds who will either save the galaxy or destroy it. Many aliens think we're those warriors, Eddie thought about this. So they're keeping us prisoner because of some old story? Partly, Lisa said. But Carter also found out something else. There are other species like us, other Deathworlders. The consortium has been keeping them down for centuries. But now, they're watching us, waiting to see if we can break free. How do we contact them? Asked Judy. Carter is working on it, Lisa said. But first, we need to show them we can fight. We need to hit the aliens hard enough to give these other Deathworlders hope. She pointed to a map on the wall. It showed alien bases around North America. In 2 weeks, we strike these 5 targets at the same time. We'll use Eddie's new weapons, we'll take their ships, and we'll show the galaxy what happens when you push humans too far. Everyone in the room stood up. Their faces were serious, but determined. One more thing, Lisa said. A woman named Kate Ward contacted us. She works as a translator for the aliens. She's been studying their language and history. She says there's a weapon they're building, something that could destroy all life on Earth if we become too much trouble for them. The room got very quiet. Then we'd better not fail, Eddie said. Lisa nodded. Go home, get ready. Tell only the people you trust completely. In 2 weeks, the resistance really begins. As Eddie walked home that night, he looked up at the stars. The aliens had come from up there. They thought they were so advanced, so superior. They thought humans were just dumb animals from a harsh planet. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The night was dark and quiet when it began. Across the world, humans moved like shadows toward alien bases. They carried weapons made from stolen parts. They wore armor pieced together from scrap. They spoke in whispers and hand signals. Lisa Rodriguez checked her watch. 2 minutes until the attack. Her team of 30 fighters crouched in the trees around the Chicago Command Center. The alien base glowed with blue and green lights. Guards walked along the walls, their energy rifles ready. Remember the plan? Lisa whispered to her team. We hit the power station first. When the lights go out, Team 2 breaks through the east wall. Team 3 takes the landing pad and captures any ships. Eddie's virus should shut down their defense systems, but be ready for anything. The seconds ticked by. Lisa's heart pounded in her chest. This was the moment that would decide Earth's future. If they failed here, the aliens would crack down harder. They might use their superweapon, but if they won, they could inspire resistance all over Earth. They could show other Death World species that the consortium could be beaten. Now, Lisa said. 4 snipers fired at once. Their special bullets, designed by Eddie to pierce alien armor, found their targets. The guards fell without a sound. Then 20 fighters rushed toward the power station. They placed charges on the walls and backed away. The explosion was quieter than Lisa expected, more of a crunch than a boom. The alien material absorbed some of the blast. The base went dark. Emergency lights came on, casting red shadows. Alarms began to wail. "Go, go, go!" Lisa shouted. Her team rushed toward the main building. They met resistance at the door. Trill. Soldiers fired energy weapons that burned the air. 2 humans fell, their chests smoking, but the others kept moving. They fired Eddie's weapons. The Trill soldiers dropped one by one. Inside the base, chaos ruled. The aliens ran in panic. They were not used to fighting. Most species in the consortium had not seen real battle in generations. They relied on technology and automated defenses. But Eddie's computer virus had turned off those defenses. Now, they faced angry humans with guns, and they had no idea what to do. Lisa's team moved through the halls, securing each room. They found the command center and burst in. 5 high-ranking Trill sat at control panels. They raised their hands when they saw the humans. "We surrender," said one in broken English. "Smart choice," Lisa said. "Now give me access to your communication system." On the other side of the base, Eddie led a team to capture the alien ships. The landing pad held 3 small transport vessels and 1 warship. Eddie had been studying alien technology for months. He knew how these ships worked. "Get these engines started," he told his team. "I'll handle the controls." As Eddie worked, his comm device buzzed. It was a secure message from Kate Ward, the translator. "Eddie, I'm in their archives. I found proof that the attack on Earth was planned by a group called the Evolutionary Purists. Chancellor Zixtorv is their leader. They've been containing Death World species for centuries because they think we'll contaminate their gene pool. And there's more. I found references to other Death Worlders, the insect-like Arvex, the reptilian Kadar, and the amphibious Nolari. All of them have been under consortium control for hundreds of years." Eddie acknowledged the message and focused on the ship. The engines hummed to life. The control panel lit up with alien symbols that Eddie could now read. "We've got a problem," said Frank, pointing at a screen showing the outside of the base. "Reinforcements coming. Lots of them." Eddie looked at the screen. A fleet of alien ships was descending from orbit. They had known about the attack somehow. They were coming to crush the resistance. "Get Lisa," Eddie said. "We need to leave now." Across the galaxy, Alan Carter stood in the middle of the consortium council chamber. Emergency alarms flashed. Council members shouted over each other. Reports came in from Earth about human attacks on consortium bases. "Order!" shouted Chancellor Zixtorv. "We must respond with full force. The Death Worlders have gone mad." "Before we do that," Alan said loudly, "the Council should see this." He connected his device to the main screen. A video began to play. It showed Zixtorv speaking to a group of aliens in a secret meeting. "The attack on Earth will look like it came from the Void Collective," Zixtorv said in the video. "The humans will beg us for protection. We'll place bases on their world and slowly strip away their technology. In time, we'll reduce their population to manageable numbers. The Death Worlder problem will be solved." The council chamber went silent. Every eye turned to Zixtorv. "This is fake," he shouted. "A human trick." "The data signatures prove it's real," said a council member from a species known for their technical skills. "The recording is authentic." Chaos broke out. Some council members called for Zixtorv's arrest. Others defended him. The chamber split into factions, with species choosing sides based on whether they feared or respected humans. In the confusion, Alan slipped away. He had one more job to do. He made his way to a secure communication room and sent messages to the Arvex, Kadar, and Nolari homeworlds. The messages contained everything he had learned about the evolutionary purists and their plans. He included video of humans fighting back against consortium forces. "The time has come," he wrote. "The Deathworlders must stand together." Back on Earth, Lisa's team fought their way to the landing pad. They had lost 10 fighters. The rest were wounded or exhausted, but they had captured the base and the ships. "We need to go," Eddie told her. "There's a whole fleet coming." "Did you get the data?" Lisa asked. Eddie held up a small device. "Everything. Their attack plans, their weapon designs, their communication codes. We can use this to hit them harder next time." They boarded the warship. Eddie took the pilot's seat. The ship rose from the pad, just as consortium reinforcements landed at the base. "We're not the only ones fighting back," Lisa said. She showed Eddie her comm device. Reports came in from around the world. Human resistance cells had attacked bases in London, Beijing, Moscow, and dozens of other cities. Some had succeeded, some had failed. But everywhere humans were fighting. "And we're not alone in the galaxy," Eddie said. He told her about the messages Alan had sent to the other Deathworld species. The ship climbed higher, breaking through clouds. The blue sky darkened until stars appeared. Eddie piloted toward a hidden base in the mountains where they could regroup and plan their next move. Suddenly, warning lights flashed on the control panel. A massive object had appeared in orbit around Earth. It was bigger than any ship they had seen before. "What is that?" Lisa asked. Eddie checked the sensors. His face went pale. "It's the superweapon Kate warned us about," he said. "The evolutionary purists must have activated it. They're going to make Earth uninhabitable." The giant weapon platform began to glow with green energy. It was targeting Earth's atmosphere. Soon it would change the air itself, making it toxic even to humans. "Can we stop it?" Lisa asked. Eddie looked at the ship's weapon systems. "Not with this ship. We need something bigger. We need help." As if in answer, dozens of new ships appeared on the sensors. They weren't consortium designs. They were unfamiliar, with shapes like insects, serpents, and strange sea creatures. A message came through the communication system. It was in a strange language, but Eddie's translation device worked. "Humans," said a clicking, insect-like voice. "We are the Arvex. With us are the Kadar and the Nolari. We received Alan Carter's message. The Deathworlders stand together now. Tell us how we can help." Eddie stared at the communication screen in amazement. The alien ships surrounding them were not consortium vessels. They belonged to other Deathworld species who had been controlled by the consortium for centuries. Now they had come to help Earth. "We need to destroy that weapon platform," Eddie told the Arvex leader. "It's designed to change Earth's atmosphere. It will kill everything on our planet." "We understand," replied the Arvex. Their voice sounded like clicks and whistles, translated into words. "We faced similar weapons in the past. The purists have tried to exterminate Deathworlders before. We will help you." A new face appeared on the screen. It belonged to a reptilian creature with green scales and yellow eyes. "I am Commander Srel of the Kadar. Our ships are faster than consortium vessels. We will draw their fire while your ships attack the weapon." A third face appeared. This one looked almost human, but with blue skin and large dark eyes. "The Nolari will provide shields. Our technology can protect your ships for short periods. Use that time wisely." Lisa stepped forward. "Thank you all. We didn't know there were others like us out there. How did you find us?" "Alan Carter sent messages to our homeworlds," said the Arvex leader. "He showed us that humans were fighting back. It gave our people courage to do the same. For too long we accepted consortium rule. We believed we were inferior because we evolved on harsh worlds. But now we know better." Eddie studied the superweapon on his screen. It was huge, at least 5 miles long. Green energy pulsed along its surface. "That thing is going to fire soon," he said. "We need to move fast." Lisa took command. "Okay, Here's the plan. We'll split into 3 groups. The Kadar ships will attack from the front, drawing the Purists' fire. The Nolari will protect a strike team that will board the weapon platform. Eddie, you'll lead that team. I'll coordinate from here. I should go with Eddie, said a voice from behind them. Kate Ward stepped forward. She had joined the resistance team at the last minute. I can read their language better than anyone. I'll help find the control center. Lisa nodded. Good idea. The rest of us will target the platform's power systems from outside. Within minutes, the attack began. The Kadar ships raced toward the superweapon, firing their weapons. The consortium ships guarding the platform moved to intercept them. The space around Earth lit up with energy blasts. Under cover of this battle, 3 Nolari ships carrying human fighters approached the other side of the platform. They extended their shields, creating a bubble of protection. The ships docked, with the platform cutting through the hull. Eddie led 20 fighters through the breach. Kate was right behind him. They entered a massive corridor with high ceilings and strange, curved walls. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. Which way to? The control center? Eddie asked Kate. She studied the alien symbols on the walls. This way, she said, pointing left. According to the signs, the main control is 2 levels up. They moved quickly, encountering little resistance at first. Most of the crew had gone to defend against the Kadar attack. But as they got closer, to the control center, they met more guards. Energy weapons fired down the hallway. 2 humans fell. The others took cover and returned fire. Eddie's special guns worked well against the alien armor, but there were many guards and time was running out. We need another way, Kate said. She pointed to a small door. This might be a maintenance tunnel. It could lead us around them. Eddie nodded. 4 fighters stayed behind to keep the guards busy. The rest followed Kate through the door. It led to a narrow passage that curved upward. They climbed for several minutes, then emerged on the upper level. The control center was just ahead. It had a circular door with many locks. 6 guards stood in front of it. If we fight them, we'll waste time, Eddie said. And more will come. Kate looked thoughtful. I have an idea. The consortium species evolved on safe worlds. They have strong fear responses. Let's use that. She took a small device from her pocket. It was a sound generator she had modified. She turned it on. A low, rumbling growl filled the hallway. It sounded like a large predator. The guards looked around nervously. Kate added other sounds, hisses, snarls, and the sound of heavy footsteps. The guards' fear grew. When Eddie fired a single shot into the ceiling, they broke. They ran in panic, leaving the door unguarded. Now we just need to get through this door, Eddie said, examining the locks. Kate stepped forward again. Let me try. She had been studying consortium codes for months. Her fingers moved over the control panel. The locks clicked open one by one. The door slid aside, revealing the control center. It was a large room filled with strange machines. In the center was a glowing column of green energy. 5 aliens worked at control panels around it. They looked up in surprise when the humans entered. Stop the weapon, Eddie shouted, pointing his gun at them. The aliens didn't move. They didn't understand English. Kate repeated Eddie's words in the consortium language. 4 of the aliens raised their hands, but the 5th, wearing the uniform of a high-ranking officer, reached for a control panel. Eddie fired. The alien fell. Kate rushed to the controls. I can read this, she said. This is the main power system, and this, she pointed to a panel with red symbols. This is the firing control, but I can't shut it down. It's already been activated. Eddie examined the system. It was unlike anything he had seen before, but some parts looked familiar. There's a biological component, he said. See these tubes? They contain some kind of living material. Kate nodded. The consortium uses biotechnology for their most advanced systems. It's more responsive than pure machine technology. Eddie had an idea. What if it's tuned to respond to the radiation patterns of their homeworlds? Earth has different radiation because of our sun and magnetic field. Maybe we can use that. He took off his belt. Inside was a small device he had built to emit Earth's specific radiation pattern. He had used it to test alien equipment before. He placed it on the control panel and activated it. The effect was immediate. The green energy column flickered. The control panels flashed with warning symbols. The biological components reacted to the unfamiliar radiation. "It's working," Kate said. "The system is shutting down to protect itself." But then a new alarm sounded. A computerized voice spoke in the consortium language. Kate's face went pale. "What is it?" Eddie asked. "Self-destruct," she said. "The weapon is programmed to explode if it fails. We have 5 minutes." Eddie contacted Lisa. "The weapon is shutting down, but it's going to explode. We need to get everyone off this platform now." "Understood," Lisa replied. "Get to your ships, all units retreat." Eddie, Kate, and their team ran back the way they came. 2 fighters were hit by falling debris as the platform began to shake. The others helped them up and kept moving. They reached their ships just as parts of the ceiling began to collapse. The Nolari ships pulled away from the platform. The Kadar ships retreated. The human ships followed. Behind them, the massive weapon began to break apart. Lisa watched from her ship as the platform exploded. The blast was enormous, lighting up space like a new sun. The shockwave hit their ships, making them tumble. But the Nolari shields held, protecting them. When the light faded, the weapon was gone. Pieces of it burned up in Earth's atmosphere, creating a meteor shower visible around the world. "We did it," Lisa said. "We stopped them, but their victory wasn't complete." Consortium ships still surrounded Earth. The occupation forces still held bases on the planet. The war had only just begun. On the command ship of the Arvex fleet, Lisa, Eddie, and Kate met with the leaders of the other Deathworld species. Carter joined them via communication link from the Galactic Council station. "The Council is in chaos," Alan reported. "Many species are demanding Zixtorv's removal. The evidence against him is overwhelming, but the evolutionary purists still have supporters. They control much of the consortium fleet." "Then we need to press our advantage," said Commander Srel of the Kadar. "We should attack now, while they are confused." "I agree," said the Nolari leader. "For centuries we have lived under consortium rule. Now is our chance to break free." Lisa looked at the tactical display showing consortium forces around Earth. "We need to retake our planet first," she said. "Then we can help liberate your homeworlds." "Together," Eddie added, "the Deathworlders will stand together from now on." The alien leaders nodded in agreement. A new alliance was born. The galaxy would never be the same. 3 months after the destruction of the superweapon, Earth looked different. The combined forces of humans and their Deathworlder allies had pushed the consortium occupation troops off the planet. The alien bases had been captured or destroyed. The skies were clear of consortium ships, but the war was far from over. Consortium forces still controlled much of the galaxy. The evolutionary purists, though weakened, continued to fight. And the homeworlds of the Arvex, Kadar, and Nolari remained under consortium rule. In the old United Nations building in New York, now renamed the Deathworlder Alliance headquarters, leaders from all 4 species met to plan their next steps. The room was strange to see. Humans sat next to insect-like Arvex, reptilian Kadar, and blue-skinned Nolari. They were different in appearance but united in purpose. Lisa Rodriguez stood at the front of the room. She wore a new uniform with the symbol of the Alliance. Star with 4 points, 1 for each Deathworlder species. "We've taken back Earth," she said. "Now we need to help our allies free their worlds." Alan Carter, who had returned from the Galactic Council station, nodded. "The Council is still divided. Many species now support our cause. They've seen the evidence of what the purists did. But Zixtorv and his followers control too many ships and bases. They won't give up easily." Eddie Green stood up. He had spent the past month studying captured consortium technology. "We have an advantage they don't expect," he said. "Their weapons and ships were designed for soft-world species to use. When Deathworlders use them, we can push them harder. We can make them work better than they were ever meant to." "Eddie's right," Kate Ward added. She had become the Alliance's expert on consortium culture and technology. Their systems have safety limits built in, but our bodies can handle more. G-force, more radiation, more heat. We can override those limits. The Arvex leader clicked his mandibles in agreement. My pilots have already modified the ships we captured. They fly faster now. The weapons hit harder. The same is true for cut our ships, said Commander Srel. We are stronger than they think. We always have been. Then it's settled, Lisa said. We'll launch attacks on the consortium bases closest to the Arvex, Kadar, and Nolari homeworlds. We'll free our allies' planets one by one. Then we'll take the fight to the purists themselves. The plan was set in motion. The Alliance fleet, made up of captured consortium ships and vessels built in secret by the Death World species, set out from Earth. They traveled through space using jump points that the consortium thought only they knew how to find. The Alliance attacked quickly, and without warning. The consortium troops, used to fighting against other soft-world species, were unprepared for the ferocity of Death Worlder combat. Base after base fell. Planet after planet was freed. Word spread through the galaxy. Other species that had been neutral began to side with the Alliance. Some did it out of fear, others out of a new respect for the Death Worlders they had once looked down on. The final battle took place at the Purist stronghold, a massive space station orbiting a dead star. The Purists had gathered their remaining forces there. Chancellor Zixtorv commanded them himself. The Alliance fleet surrounded the station. Lisa gave the Purists one chance to surrender. They refused. Then we have no choice, she told her forces. Attack. The battle was the largest the galaxy had seen in centuries. Thousands of ships fired at each other. Boarding parties fought in the corridors of the station. Death Worlder troops, stronger and faster than their enemies, pushed forward step by step. Eddie led a team to the station's power core. They planted charges that would disable it without destroying the station. They wanted to capture the Purists, not kill them. Kate led another team to the communication center. They broadcast the truth about the Purists to every planet and ship in the galaxy. They showed evidence of centuries of manipulation and lies. Alan worked with friendly council members to organize a vote of no confidence in Zixtorv's leadership. As news of the battle reached the council, more and more species turned against the Purists. The fighting lasted 3 days. In the end, the Alliance stood victorious. The Purist forces surrendered. Zixtorv and his top leaders were captured. In a formal ceremony on the Galactic Council station, the 4 Death Worlder species were granted full membership in the consortium. The council was reorganized. No longer would species be judged by the worlds they evolved on. No longer would Death Worlders be feared and controlled. Zixtorv and the other Purist leaders were put on trial. The evidence against them was overwhelming. They had manipulated galactic politics for centuries. They had held back technological progress. They had ordered the attack on Earth and planned the extinction of multiple species. The trial revealed one final secret. The ancient prophecy about warriors born of harsh worlds had been deliberately mistranslated. It didn't warn that Death Worlders would destroy the galaxy. It said they would save it from a greater threat, the true Void Collective, a force from outside the galaxy that consumed all life in its path. The Void Collective was real and it was coming. The fake attack on Earth had hidden the signs of its approach. Now the galaxy had only a few years to prepare. We'll need every species working together, Alan told the new council. Soft World and Death World alike, each with their own strengths, their own contributions to make. The council agreed. A new age of cooperation began. Death Worlder strength and toughness combined with Soft World precision and caution. Progress that had been held back for centuries suddenly leaped forward. Eddie led a team of scientists from all species to develop new weapons and defenses. Kate established cultural exchange programs to help different species understand each other better. Lisa trained the first truly mixed species military force in galactic history. When the Void Collective finally arrived at the edge of the galaxy, they found not the divided, manipulated civilization the Purists had maintained, but a united front of all species. The Death Worlders led the defense, taking risks that Soft World species couldn't, but they didn't fight alone. Every world contributed in its own way. The war against the Void Collective would last for years. It would test the galaxy as never before, but it would not find easy prey divided against itself. It would find unity and strength it had never expected. Years later, when children on 100 worlds asked how the galaxy had survived, they were told the same story. It began when the Death Worlders struck back. Eddie and Kate, now married and living on Earth between missions, would tell their children this story too. They would explain how fear of differences had nearly doomed the galaxy, and how embracing those differences had saved it. Lisa, now Admiral of the Combined Fleet, would use the story to inspire new recruits from every species. And Alan, serving as Earth's permanent ambassador to the Galactic Council, would remind the Council of this history whenever old prejudices threatened to rise again. Every civilization had a tale about when the Death Worlders struck back. But the true story wasn't about revenge. It was about justice, unity, and finding strength in diversity. It was about proving that the harshest worlds didn't create monsters. They created survivors. And in the end, the galaxy needed survivors most of all.